The Stand Together Against Rape campaign held a march in Greenside today, marching through the Greenside Shopping Centre and back to the Pirate Sports Club.
Okay, Slut Walk started in Canada with a police officer telling women that if they didn't want to be raped, they shouldn't dress like sluts. A whole bunch of people in Toronto decided victim blaming from the police force wasn't such a great plan. And by the end of 2011, there were 160 cities around the world hosting slut walks. And now on the Slut Walk organizers page, which is an international movement, there are about 250 of us.
In South Africa and throughout the world, the one thing that we must unite around is domestic violence, violence against women, violence against children, but also just intergender violence. It's not just one way, it goes both ways, as we know very well in this country. And the issue for us is that it must transcend people's political biases, religious biases, any bias whatsoever. And what we really want to do is we're calling for unity across every possible line to ensure that we engage in this issue of violence. We cannot live in a country where we are considered to have a high crime rate against women. In the last 3 weeks, 3 women were murdered. One woman was brutally shambocked because she wasn't at home when her partner came home. That's why we need to unite. That's for that reason and that reason only. That's what brings us together universally.
Well, I'm involved because I believe each and every one of us should stand up against this scourge, quite frankly, that is ravishing our nation. I have 6 sisters, I have 3 daughters, I have a wife, I have a mother. All of them are affected by it, and if they are affected by the scourge of rape and abuse, then so am I. And it is time for me as a male to stand up and be counted.
A number of enthusiastic participants marched through the suburb of Greenside, bearing placards with messages about rape and support for rape survivors.
You know, the perception in this country is still that men can't be raped. And then the other side of the coin is that men are always the perpetrators, which is not true. We're finding that upwards of about 20% of the rapes are being perpetrated by women. You know, there was a study done in 2008 where we found the results from 1,200 schools that 40% of the boys under the age of 16 had been sexually abused by teachers. The victims, rape survivors, need to start talking out. You know, it takes a lot of courage. I myself am a survivor of rape and sexual abuse. And it took a lot of courage for me to come out. But I kind of made the decision that if I don't start talking about it, who is? You know, we need to start empowering people to talk about this.
The problem is solved through various mechanisms. We actually do need to get into the schools in our country and begin to teach gender sensitivity at schools. It starts there. Men are taught by women in the main, and women carry over these patriarchal stories about how brave men are, when in fact it's not about bravery. It's not about men losing face. It's about men respecting women's rights as equal to themselves. In our country, we are equal before the law. Our constitution makes us equal, and we need to implant that in the minds of every child in this country. That's where we begin.
We may have a great political divide in this country, but there is one area that all political parties are united on. We all need to stand together against rape, and it is something which should concern us all.